Menu pop-up button. New notification. Recording has started. Let everyone know they're being recorded. Privacy policy.
Right, so yeah, sorry about that. There was a few technical difficulties just at the beginning there.
No problem.
Yeah,
Things
so
happen.
whereabouts are you at the moment? Are you down? Are you just about to go into training? Are you?
Yeah, well, I'm at home at the minute, but I'll just head there after this.
And whereabouts are you training at the moment?
Manchester.
Okay, so who's your team? Is it? Am I right? Is it Loughborough Lightning?
Loughborough Lightning. Yeah, Loughborough Lightning. Yeah, but I train with Manchester Revolution, who are a club team in Manchester that I used to play for, like a mixed team.
Okay.
So they still let us train because getting to Loughborough is 2 hours, and I'm there like 2 or 3 times a week, so I don't trek over every day. That would be a bit much.
Yeah, absolutely fair enough. And how's it all going at the moment?
Good. We've got our first games of the season this weekend, so very excited. We've got Cardiff away, driving down to Cardiff for Saturday, and then we've got a home game in Loughborough on Sunday, so a full weekend. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, am I right in also saying that you also play tennis? Is that correct?
Yeah, I do play a bit of tennis. Yeah, I think. So the goal was I kind of took a bit of a break from basketball to try and pursue a bit of a tennis career, and in that time, I just having a break away from basketball made me realise how much I actually loved it. So I came back I stepped away for the World Championships, and I stepped back in for the European Championships a few months later, where we qualified for Paris and won that silver medal. And of course, I got into the All-Star 5, which is pretty special.
Yeah, absolutely. And what is the All-Star 5, if you don't mind me asking? What's kind of involved in that side of things?
Yeah, so basically, it's selected by the coaches of the opposing teams, or our coach picks as well. And it's the 5 best players of the tournament, basically. And they pick someone from each classification, so 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s. And I was picked as the 3. So the first time I've been selected for the All-Star in a major tournament. So to be able to do it, having taken that time away and come back in, I think it just shows, what a bit of a break can do for you mentally and physically. So yeah, I was pretty chuffed with that one, I have to say.
Yeah, 100%, absolutely. And how did you get into basketball?
So I got into basketball almost 10 years ago. To like next week after. So almost 10 years ago. And the reason I got into it was I saw it during the London 2012 Paralympics for the first time I saw disability sport of any kind, and I was 22 at that point, born with a disability. But it wasn't until my able-bodied friend Katie McBrearty was going to train with Lothian Phoenix, and I was just at the bus stop asking her, hey, what are you up to? Oh, I'm going to play wheelchair basketball. What do you mean? How can you play wheelchair basketball? You're not only able-bodied, but you don't have a disability. You can walk. Because my assumption was that, well, it's called wheelchair basketball. You must have to use a wheelchair all the time. That was a wrong assumption, of course. And from there, I contacted Basketball Scotland and Tina Gordon, who we all know very well in the basketball scene in Scotland. And she got me into a development day at Lothian Phoenix. And from there, the rest is history. I loved it. She really kind of backed me a lot in those early days, training with me. She got me my first chair. Really kind of propelled me forward. And from there, it's just been one success after another, really. So 10 years of fun, I have to say, an adventure.
Absolutely. And so you're kind of really are the living proof of what role models can do, and kind of having that shop window of the London Olympics in 2012, kind of getting the advert of the Paralympics, kind of getting people out there, getting that shop window and people watching it and getting eyes on a sport. And it kind of shows what kind of how empowering that can be and motivating.
Oh, definitely. You know, I think that since London 2012, the power of the Paralympic movement has just been improving kind of with every single games that we've had. And I think it's down to, you know, the broadcast partners of Channel 4, BBC, and now in modern times, TikTok. You know, I really do think that the awareness of it is just heightened because of the access to the information online, which I just think is fantastic. So for me, you know, on my TikTok, I like to have a bit of fun and show some wheelchair basketball videos, show that, you know, you don't have to be in a wheelchair all the time to play, that you can walk, and as long as you've got a lower limb impairment or able-bodied, everyone can play wheelchair basketball. It's a sport for everyone. So for me, you know, I think having that shop window and those role models, I think it's getting a lot easier. But that's no reason to stop plugging it. You know, I want more, especially more women in the game, 100%.
Yeah. And do you feel a bit of a responsibility to be one of those role models now, to take on that mantle and try and, well, very cliche, but grow the game, get more eyes on it? Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I feel a responsibility to raise awareness of wheelchair basketball, to get more people playing wheelchair basketball, to get more people watching wheelchair basketball. But you know, I'm very passionate about the women's side of it. You know, I think over the past few years, with the creation of the Women's Premier League, we've taken a huge leap forward in the women's side. I've now started my own coaching, Love Handles it's called, a bit of play on words. So for me, that side of the game, I'm really passionate about growing, because I just think there's so much more that the girls and women of this country can do. And I want more competition. I want more girls fighting for those spots, and I want GB to bring home that Paralympic medal from the women's side.
Absolutely. And you're an LGBTQ plus athlete, and do you feel a responsibility alongside that to also be a role model for other athletes?
Absolutely. You know, I think I'm very lucky that I'm in a family and a position where being my true authentic self is okay and is embraced and it is loved. But many people aren't in that situation, for various reasons. And you know, if I can, me living my life in the privileged way that I can, if that is inspiring and helpful for people, then to me, I'm grateful that I'm able to do that on the platform that I've got. And I think especially for people with disabilities to be seen in that world, in that space as well, I think is so important. And I think, you know, Laurie and I, my partner, who's also my teammate, giving birth to our little daughter this year, I think, you know, having disabled parents as well, you know, we are disabled, we are parents, we are mums, we are dads. You know, I think that putting that on a platform is also important to show that, you know, we're not just disabled, we don't just exist, you know, we're humans, and we're here, and we have full lives.
Absolutely, yeah. And how do you feel that kind of, like, how do you feel fans of the game, kind of general spectators, kind of interact with that? Are they, as a whole, are people very accepting, or?
Definitely, I personally have had nothing but acceptance.
Lovely, yeah.
I think it's, you know, in the women's game, I think it's not different, but it's, you know, it's more common in the women's game than the men's game. Hopefully that changes in the future with the fantastic role models that are coming out in kind of more mainstream sports like football. I think that they're certainly the ones that are leading the way, and I think hopefully other sports will follow. So for me, you know, I'm glad, like I said, I get to live my life. And in fact, at the European Championships, we had our baby with us, Alba. She was there. We had her in our hotel room. You know, she was part of the process, part of the journey to get that silver medal in our place in Paris. And often the camera during games would pan to her, usually asleep with our headphones on, with our mums in the crowd watching her. So, you know, not only is it embraced, but I think, especially when children are involved, it's definitely celebrated.
Yeah, and so you've now got your baby, and do you feel like you've had a change of kind of has that changed your perception or clarity? Like, you often hear that with kind of athletes, like you can often think when you're in it, like being a basketball player, being a footballer is the main thing, but then you suddenly have a child and there's a lot more to life, isn't there? It's something to almost take your mind off it, which can actually be just a lovely distraction at times. Have you ever found anything like that to be helpful?
Absolutely. I think, well, I don't know if you've seen Ted Lasso, but I was very much that
We all love it.
football,
Yeah.
football is life guy, wheelchair basketball is life.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
definitely me, and to be honest, it still is me to an extent. But having Alba at the European Championships this summer, she was at every meal with the team. She was in team meetings and the video sessions, and honestly, having that, like you say, that perspective of, look at this little baby, life is a bit more than putting a ball in a hole. So for us as a team, I think it almost kind of relaxed us a bit more and just made us enjoy the time that we had. And then I think that then allowed us to just really give everything that when we were on court. We were business on court, and off court we were able to relax a bit more. So for me, I think 100% perspective has been gained. But don't get me wrong, she's still there in the sports hall with us, asleep, watching us, next to me while I'm doing my free throw practice. It's a different type of heckling, but it's one that I'll put up with.
Yeah. And am I right? Did you start up have you recently just become an ambassador? Did you take up an ambassador role earlier this year?
Yeah, with the British Elite Athlete Association, yeah.
Yeah, so that can you tell me a little bit about that kind of role and kind of like what were the kind of reasons for you taking it up, and what have you found so far throughout it?
Well, the British Elite Athlete Association are just a fantastic organisation, independent from like governing bodies in UK sport. They're there to really support athletes through, policy, procedure, but specifically for LGBT athletes. I think having that education piece, the plan is to create an allyship programme where we go out to sports and deliver that to help people understand how they can best support not only their athletes, but their teammates, their staff members as well, and how we can really ensure that when people are able to be themselves, their authentic selves, if they've not got all these voices in their heads, they're able to perform better, full stop. And it's about understanding that, we're all here for a common goal, and the British Elite Athlete Association are just there to support that and ultimately support athletes. Hopefully, I think when it comes to difficult times, if they're needing to challenge things, that's what they're there for. And me as an ambassador, I'm always there to kind of listen to athletes and see how we can best prepare ourselves and ensure that we're ready to compete.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's all kind of going down to that role model thing again, having someone like yourself as an ambassador and a role model. It's only going to help people be more comfortable and feel more comfortable being their authentic self, which is the end goal, isn't it? And do you enjoy being an ambassador?
I do, yeah. I enjoy being ambassador. I think, the BEAA are a fantastic organisation, great people
Speech
who are
muted.
really passionate about supporting athletes and ensuring they can, live their truth, live their authentic selves, because they just know how important that is to performance. And not only that, about well-being and ensuring that, they're feeling good within themselves as a person more than just an athlete. Because at the end of the day, our careers stop, but we don't stop being who we are. So that's what they're there for.
Absolutely. Well, that's brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. And so what's next up on the kind of calendar for yourself within the kind of the wheelchair basketball season? What's coming up for you?
What's up next is we have our first round of Women's Premier League games. I play for Loughborough Lightning, and this coming weekend we are against away at Cardiff on Saturday and home at Loughborough on Sunday. And then a few weeks later, I'm putting my GB vest on, my hat on, my jacket on, that's for sure, heading to Madrid to compete in a friendly series against Spain. And of course, Alba is coming with us as well, so
Brilliant.
she's going to experience some Spanish winter.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. No, I think that should be all good for myself. Thank you very much for taking some time out to catch me. I appreciate that you're very busy at the moment. there was one other thing I was going to ask you. I know it's a bit of an ask, but I was wondering maybe if you'd be able to send me just a selfie video of yourself, just kind of introducing yourself, kind of saying a little bit about yourself, kind of a bit like we talked today. Just needs to be about 1 minute, just kind of talking about your journey and being a LGBTQ plus athlete, and just kind of introducing the Intersectionality Day of Scottish Disability Sport. Would that be something that you'd be up for doing?
Yeah, sure, I can try my best. I'll probably ramble on a bit, so I hope you're good at editing, William.
Definitely not. I'll pass it on to someone else, but yeah, absolutely. No, thank you very much. That'd be brilliant.
Nice one.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. That'd be absolutely fantastic, and hopefully you have a good training session. And yeah, thank you very much for taking time out of your day. Cheers.
No worries. Cheers, William. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. Love to meet you.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Speech unmuted. Enter your password to software up. Enter your password to install software update. Microsoft Teams Classic. Robyn/William SD. Turn camera off. Mute. Share content. Mute. Turn camera off. More apps. But rooms. No. Room. App. More. Menu pop-up button. Record and transcribe. Collapse menu item. Menu 6 item. Stop recording. Menu item. Menu 2 item. Dialog with 2 item. Cancel. Heading level 2. Stop recording. Cancel. Stop. Button.